In this episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast, a viewer wants to know how they can guarantee themselves to move forward in the casting process. We're going to answer that question in this episode of the podcast. Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast. I had to think about that for a second. Hope everyone's doing well. And we have a really interesting question in this week's podcast from the audience, one of you guys, and wants to know more about how to guarantee themselves to move forward, and have an interesting answer for that individual. Before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know that I've written a guide on how to get on reality TV. For those guys that are just starting out and you want to get yourself in the best possible position, maybe you're not ready for the video course, you just want to kind of ease your way and you want to learn about the process and what goes on and different things you can do to, build your story. You can check that out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. Check it out. It's helped some people. It's definitely the best selling resource on the website, so you can check it out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in to this week's question from Blake, who wants to know how he can guarantee himself to move past the second round of casting. Let's go ahead and listen to Blake.
Hey Dan, my name's Blake, and I wanted to start it off by thanking you for making an amazing project for people like myself who can better their chances on getting casted for reality TV shows that they are in love with. I just wanted to ask you, I've watched a bunch of your boot camps and your podcasts and whatnot, and it's definitely helped me. I've made it to the semifinal round for a couple of the shows I wanted to be on. And my question is, it seems like every time I get to the semifinals round, after that they tell me they'll contact me back in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I end up finding out that I don't get casted because they end up casting everyone for that show. So my question is, what can I do to make myself more memorable and stand out more to the point where I can make it through the semifinal round and guarantee myself, or give myself a better guarantee of getting casted on a reality TV show? Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you.
All right, Blake, first off, I want to say a few things. Number one, congratulations on getting the semifinals. A lot of people don't even make it that far. They may quit, or they may not understand how to get to that process, or put themselves in a position to get to the semifinals. So don't take that lightly. I know it sounds like you've been in the semifinals multiple times for different shows, and don't look past that. There's success in that. I know it's not the ultimate success you're looking for, but still, that's a good sign. The second thing, sounds like you went through the video boot camp. Awesome, man. I'm glad that helped out. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool to hear. The third thing is, and this is, it's not my position to correct people, but some casting producers don't like when you say casted. The correct term is cast. So, Blake said he wanted to get casted on a show. I'm not saying that to pull out the teacher Dan on you. I'm just saying it's cast, not casted. So, and I'm just doing that not because I don't care. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. But some casting producers are very, very particular about that. So, with those 3 things out of the way, Blake wants to know, how can he guarantee himself get to the next round? And while I wish I could say there's a magic guarantee, there isn't. This is, I guess, where we drop a truth bomb on everyone listening to the podcast. Not that everything else hasn't been the truth, but this is not easy to hear. But there is absolutely nothing you can do to guarantee that you're going to get cast in a show. Everything we talk about on the show are things that will help position you in a better chance to be successful. So, but, you can't do X, Y, and Z and guarantee yourself to get on a show. It just doesn't work like that. And while I think Blake is coming at this from a great standpoint. He's just willing to do whatever it takes, which is awesome. So I don't, here's why you can't guarantee this. I wanted to break this down for you so you were like, well, Dan, it worked for you, or this and that. Yeah, things have worked because I positioned myself in a way and I kept after it. So let me break this down. So a lot of being cast on a show comes down to circumstances around it. For example, if there is someone who looks similar to you, or maybe from the same city, same area, same region, and they like them a little bit better than you, even though you may have what it takes to be on the show, they're not going to do that. Rarely will you see two people from the same city or same region, or that even look similar, because they don't want to confuse the viewers. So if you have two dudes with long blonde hair, chances are only one of those dudes is going to get cast in the show, because people, they like to keep things simple for the viewers, and it can get very I don't want to say intermingled, but confusing. So whether if someone looks like you that's in the casting process that may be far ahead of you, that's going to knock you out. If someone, if the casting associate has a bad day, maybe they just don't like you. There's a chance of that. This is not a perfect science. If a casting associate has a bad day, or maybe you remind them of their ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm not saying there's just so many revolving circumstances in developing a cast and putting a cast together. The one thing you can do to hedge that bet is to keep on applying. And I know that's not the answer a lot of people want to hear, but you have to remember, you guys know it took me 4 years to get cast on Big Brother. But really that's what it comes down to. So you have to keep applying. And what does that really mean? What are you giving up to keep applying? It takes a lot of time. I mean, it took 4 years. If you listen to Troyzan's story, which is on episodes 3 through 5 on the podcast, it took Troyzan 10 years. 10 years, a decade of his life to get cast on Survivor. I mean, he applied for 10 years straight. That in itself is a story. And that's what I mean. Like, people may try it one season and it doesn't work out and they quit. Well, it's going to take, for some people, like myself, like a Troyzan, like a lot of people, it's really hard to get cast in the first shot. And it happens, but chances are if you're listening to this podcast, it hasn't happened for you on the first shot, or you're in the process and you're pretty close. But bottom line, you have to keep on doing it. Side note, I'm bummed that Troyzan didn't get voted in for a second chance, but that's beside, different place, different time. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some patience. You're going to have 365 days between times you apply. During that time, you have to have some patience. You're going to watch the cast be released, be like, oh, I would have been so much better than that person. Oh, or that person probably took my spot. Or, oh, that person looks like me. You may even gain insight. Oh, now I don't feel so bad because there's this random twist this season that I probably didn't fit into. So it's going to take some patience in between that. And the third thing that's probably most important is that, when you're trying to form this guarantee, which we know there's nothing you can do, have some confidence. Each time you apply, you should be way more confident. You've been through it. You've hopefully gained some experience from the casting process, whether it's from other shows or from the process that you went through the year before. But you should enter in each time with more and more confidence. And then that becomes part of your story too. Whether or not you talk about it, the people that cast whatever show that you're trying to get on are going to know, like, we've seen this guy every year for 5 years. You may bring it up, you may not. But chances are, do you think Lynn Spillman knew about Troyzan the 10th time he applied? Of course she did. There's no way she didn't. So you just have to keep at it. And that's not the answer. That it's not going to make a lot of people happy. Hearing this, or people are going to say, well, maybe it's not for me. I don't want to dedicate, or I don't want to apply 10 years in a row. I can't take being said no 10 times. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be applying for reality TV. I know it's not that way for everyone, but if it's something you really want, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know the circumstances that are going to affect that. And unless you keep putting yourself out there, no one's going to knock on your door and say, hey, come on Survivor. Hey, come on Amazing Race. Hey, come on The Bachelorette. Hey, come on The It's rarely going to happen. Of course it does happen. Let me contradict myself. If you're particularly good looking and you're in a bar in a highly populated city where there's casting people that pull out of bars, of course it could happen, but it's not very likely. What's more likely is that you're going to put yourself in a position by sending in an audition video or going to a casting call, and that will help you out. So, the other thing, in addition, because I didn't just want to say keep applying, even though that's the real answer. Second thing is you need to be adding to your story and adding to your experience, and adding each time you apply. It shouldn't be the exact same thing. It should be similar, so there's some recall for the casting people. Oh, here's the guy, here's Dan, he's the teacher. Oh, he's coaching football. Oh, but this year he seemed to do this different. So keep adding to your story. The one thing you can't do, don't send in the same audition video time and time again without changing anything. Because even though you may have what it takes to get to the semifinals, if you keep doing the same thing and you're not changing anything from your story or from how you're presenting yourself, chances are nothing is going to change for you on the result side. So that being said, Blake, I appreciate you submitting the question. I hope this answer helps. Sometimes the best answer you can get is one that smacks you across the face. And I think you're doing some great things, man. It sounds like you're applying for multiple shows. You've got to the semifinals. Don't overlook that. If you've gotten yourself that far, you're there. I mean, you just keep pushing on, man. Don't give up. I could run through a list of people that didn't get on their first time, but ultimately, they've got cast because they didn't give up. So I hope this helps, Blake. As a small thank you, we're going to send you a free digital copy of my story, How a Normal Guy Got Cast on Reality TV. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, you can submit a voicemail question by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask, whether you do it on your phone, through the browser, on a tablet. It's really simple. Hit the button, record, and it comes right to me. And so you can submit a voicemail question by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask it, because you guys drive the show. But thanks for the question, Blake. So that being said, that wraps up another episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast. As a reminder, if you guys are interested in purchasing the step-by-step guide to getting cast on reality TV that I wrote, you can check it out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. It is a great starting point for those of you guys that are looking for some more information all in one place that explains the casting process and what you need to do to put yourself in a position to be successful. You can check that out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/guide. And I want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast and keeping this going, because ultimately you guys drive the show. When there are no more questions, there's no more show, but there's a lot of questions. So I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next Monday.